So, here we go.
It was filled with childish frustrations and complexes which the police were searching for days past.
Hello, hello, hello.
Ew.
You're listening to Midnight Movie Gang. It is currently 6:29 p.m. Night Movie Gang, and we're here live from Columbus, Ohio.
It's Tuesday night.
It's Tuesday night.
It's Toozer.
Yep. Tweezer. Anyway, sorry. Today's a very special episode. We're recording not in my apartment or Joseph's apartment. We are here at the Needle Exchange. Is the full title the Needle Exchange Record Shop or like
The Needle Exchange Records and Tapes.
The Needle Exchange Records and Tapes?
Hell
We're
yeah.
here in the lovely store after hours. We're here with our wonderful guest Ian. Ian, I don't know your last name.
Oh, it's Graham.
Ian Graham
like,
here.
like the cracker. Yeah,
Oh. Like the Ian cracker.
Ian Cracker. No, I want
yeah.
graham crackers. No, I want.
Absolutely. You know about the Ian crackers?
Yeah. Yeah, we all
Normally,
do.
I only serve those on holidays.
I don't know about the Ian Crackers. I'm not up to date on the lore.
You don't want to know, dude.
Okay, well, afterwards, bonus tidbit. But yeah, so we're here today in his wonderful shop to talk about movies. As people, we talk about physical media a lot on this show.
Yep.
And in the last few months, I've been delving into the world of VHS.
Yeah, now we're surrounded by physical media.
Yeah, surrounded by physical media. True. But I really feel the energy of it. This is what it should be. This show.
Absolutely.
But getting into VHS, old VHS, as well as my gateway really being like seeing all these like DIY creators make new releases of films that otherwise wouldn't have gotten a VHS release, and that's kind of like what got me into it. And Ian's shop here just is like he's got a wonderful wall back there. I mean, I also collect records too.
Yep.
I love my wall
It
of
is-
VHS.
I
That was
perusing
always,
it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you for looking.
it's a great wall. It's wonderful to look at.
It really
For
catches
allowing
the
me to.
eye when you come into the store.
Yeah,
And I know that a lot of people who are like really into aesthetics as it comes to
Yeah.
small business have given me nice compliments on the wall because
Yeah.
that's really where
I'm a
the eye goes to.
big fan of the wall.
Yeah, I can imagine when people come in like for something else or wander in, that's probably one of the first. You
People
Where I
still
went,
buy
yeah.
these things?
I came in, Elsie was setting up, and the first thing I did was just like wander over with my hands in my pockets and look at it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I imagine you get that response a lot. Yeah,
All the time.
But speaking of which, I want to hear you talk about your business as well. So, Ian, tell us about your business, your passions, your projects, whatever you want to promote here. Tell us about the store.
So yeah, I'm Ian Graham, and I have a waiting pool full of mayonnaise at my
Whoa.
house.
Whoa.
We could go back to after this if
It's
you're
a reference
into
to
it.
the movie.
It's a
Joseph.
reference to
Oh,
the
it
movie
is?
that we're going
Yeah.
to talk
I
about.
thought that was
you
a genuine
I'm
proposition.
so sad that you missed that.
Man,
Well, no,
it's
there
one of
was
my
a
favorite
lot.
lines.
Listen, there was a lot going on.
We only
There's
saw
a
the
lot.
movie once. I think that was a brief. That's a line from Z-Man, right?
It is very brief. It was.
I do
from-
remember
from
that now
St.
that you
Ives
mentioned-
from the porn star.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was
I
like,
thought that was
she
a
had
genuine.
Wait, she's got
proposition.
mayonnaise or Z-Man's got?
She had a waiting pool full of mayonnaise.
Oh yeah,
And the guy goes, mayonnaise.
She was trying to take that.
Okay, yeah, now I remember.
Anyway,
Trying to take the
I thought we were
manager
gonna dip our Ian crackers in there.
into the mayonnaise. Ooh, crackers with mayonnaise. Well, I can't think of a single kind of cracker I'd want to put mayonnaise on.
yeah, no.
Maybe if I got a whole Lunchable set up with my little deli meat and cheese.
If you had the
A
deli meat,
charcuterie.
cheese, a little chart with
Mayo shart.
next chart that I make, I'm just gonna put a dollop of mayonnaise on the
Just on the whole
the
thing.
corner.
Just
Don't in the
just
corner.
cover the whole thing with mayo.
Not an animal. Oh my gosh.
we went grocery shopping recently, and I picked up, it's surprisingly like a great cracker combination. Like Nutella goes great with everything, but it goes especially great with like Ritz.
Ritz.
Ooh.
Honestly,
Ritz crackers.
Ritz is kind of the goat of crackers.
I
for
am
me.
a Ritz bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
think we
joke
all
with my
are.
partner all the time. Like, we ever have a child? I'm gonna name it Ritz.
Ritz crackers. Ritz cheese stuff. Ritz bits.
Putting on the Ritz.
But anyway,
Yes.
I own the Needle Exchange Records and Tapes here in lovely Columbus, Ohio, and I specialize in used records and cassette tapes as well as VHS. Many VHS. I have a VHS wall full of unpriced $3 VHS, and then I do have specific highlighted titles that I like to put on the top of the
cool
wall
ones. Oh, I didn't
that I
notice.
price up to like $5. I don't really
They
go
grab the
crazy.
eye.
with market prices as far as things go, unless it's super duper rare or like a first printing or something.
I knew this was the legit place to come when I first came in here, and I saw Dog Soldiers out there, and I was like,
he's the Dog Soldiers guy. He's literally the only person in the world I've ever heard talk about Dog Soldiers.
It's a great fucking movie.
It is good.
Yeah, folks at home, you can go back and listen to our
We have a Dog Soldiers episode.
There's an episode on Dog Soldiers.
We have a Dog Soldiers.
Okay, I have to go farther back.
It was one of our kind of early ones.
It was
think.
pretty
like
early.
Within the, I feel like we're gonna get to the point where like we're gonna really have to go back and do like a revisited, so and so revisited. Like, we got to do a Speed revisited.
Dog Soldiers again. He really just wants to do Speed again.
Yeah, Speed and Dog
that
Soldiers.
Ep didn't get enough love.
No, so our Speed episode was one of our least listened to episodes. Which I had the most fun talking about it.
Yeah,
that's his own thing. But anyway,
don't get him started.
Go back and listen to it.
Yeah, listen to Speed.
Yeah. So like, I assume you have this story. Like, I assume you've always had a passion for these things, physical media, art, and,
physical media, definitely.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Would you say that you're more of like? Obviously, I see more music around. You say you're more of a music guy than a movie guy necessarily? Or like...
I'm not real sure. Nowadays, listening to music makes me sick, and I'm a musician.
As am I.
But yeah, no, I have gotten so much joy out of since I erected the wall just about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And
it wasn't there from the beginning.
No, I had a VHS selection in one of these IKEA shelves that were on its side. And it was small, and everything. That was a golden age if you were into it, and if you knew about this place, because everything was $1.
Oh wow!
I didn't price anything out.
So like okay. Oh, interesting. I didn't.
Any and everything, as far as VHS went, was $1.
It's not immune to inflation. I guess
It really isn't. And it makes me sad, but it's also still one of the cheapest.
Come get
physical media hobbies that you can get into.
Yeah.
Much cheaper than records, cheaper than even cassette tapes.
No kidding. Yeah.
I think that's a big contributing factor. I think that's a big element of the boom. I know we were saying we were going to talk about the boom later, but we're talking about VHS now. But like, I think that's a big contributing factor to the boom as it exists. As far as like, it is such a low barrier to entry, like cost wise. You know, like I feel like I've been collecting Blu-rays and DVDs for quite some time. And like I feel like the problem that it comes, I think the barrier to entry for a lot of people with that is like brand new Blu-rays and DVDs and like big box stores are still pretty expensive.
Yeah, unless you catch Barnes & Noble on a Criterion sale or something, then you can get a break. Or if you go to Half Price Books, because they have a nice selection.
Oh yeah,
people bring in things.
Yeah, there's all sorts of great secondhand stores now as well. But like as far as people who like, I think broadly who don't necessarily have the time to seek out those like secondhand places or like small places, like I feel like the first thing they kind of they see is like, oh, like Trap on Blu-ray is $25, which I bought
as an example.
Local channel, or today I bought Alien Romulus on 4K.
Yep.
Oh, very good. I still haven't seen it, and it's on. It's streaming now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been on Hulu for like a week.
Oh, I got to get on that.
Today was the the Blu-ray release of Alien Romulus. A brief little Amazon rant. So I pre-ordered it from Amazon, and it's supposed to like arrive the day that the movie comes out.
Oh yeah.
But this morning I checked my Amazon, and it said like order received. We will send you, like they hadn't shipped it or anything.
When we have time.
Exactly.
When we feel like it.
And it was a similar thing with In a Violent, which funnily enough, In a Violent Nature, the Blu-ray also it was supposed to come out like mid-November, and it just came in the mail today, super randomly.
Damn. Bezos is trolling you, dude.
I don't know, it's so weird. But anyway, but yeah, it's like right now, even widespread, I feel like wherever you would find VHS at the moment, like I feel like a lot of people, the most common thing is like Goodwill. I feel like a lot of Goodwills probably have a bigger VHS section than than DVDs necessarily, and like and their
estate sales.
They're always just so cheap. Like I rarely see
flea markets.
Yep.
Yeah, I rarely see a used VHS out in the world for less than $5, and I think that maybe as things get more valuable, we might see that change.
I will say I wasn't really that big of a believer until we watched Terminator on VHS.
Yeah,
I was like, this is like.
Oh, I heard you say that on another show, and I was like, yes. You were like, this is how this movie should be seen.
Yeah, this has like a different vibe to it.
That made my heart so happy to hear you say that as somebody who doesn't regularly watch things on VHS.
It really it kind of brought me more to your side.
It's more my hobby than Joseph's.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you know,
Along
I
for the
can
ride.
I see why you love
Yeah.
it.
I
just
feel
don't
like-
have a VHS.
I feel like your realm of physical media, Joseph, is more along the lines of like video game press because Joseph is way
Yeah.
more a video game.
Oh yeah.
guy.
Oh, yeah.
If you come
Yeah.
over, you'll see my like shelf of like games I'll never get rid of.
Yeah, you got a shit ton of PS3 games. And
Yeah.
like, whenever I come over, I'm like, damn, I wish I could
Yeah.
like play that right now or like rent it.
Damn, can I play Lollipop Chainsaw?
Dude, I wish. I do have the Deadpool game though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really hard to get.
I think they heard they were talking about a remaster for that, but yeah, no, but we'll see if that changes. I feel like one of the things something that is kind of a scary. It's not even a trend yet. It's just something I noticed and I heard people talk about.
Yeah.
With the kind of VHS boom. So Alien Romulus. Speaking of,
Yes.
what's the name of the company though? Universal? No, Disney.
That one?
The
20
monolith.
Forgot about them.
20
This little company called Disney.
For a second, they escaped his mind.
20th Century Studios. They did an official VHS release of Romulus, like a limited thing. And I wanted to get one, but I wasn't able to hop on the pre-sale fast enough. And it did sell, like the pre-sales did sell out.
They look really nice too, I will say.
Yeah.
They do look good.
They look nice, but the price point is they're $60.
Ooh.
The new these like official ones coming from
Good lord.
and I'm thinking like even compared to like the DIY tape, like I own some of the like talking VCR Village, Death by VHS, some of those DIY guys.
Lunch Meat VHS.
They're all around like between $25 and $35.
Yeah.
Like usually those days, which makes
Yeah.
which is fair. It's like it's a bargain as far as like all the work that they're putting into it,
Yeah.
you know, like as an individual. But $60.
Artisan project or whatever product.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like $60 for like a product from this huge company that has the resources to.
Was it a Walmart exclusive
Yeah,
as
it was.
well?
Yeah, it was through Walmart.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, it's because people are buying it, dude.
Yeah, because it worked well for Terrifier.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
In the past week, the past year.
Yeah.
Because they did a Terrifier 2
Mhm.
release on VHS
Yeah.
and it sold out super quickly.
I don't know how
Yeah.
much that was though. I'm pretty sure it was cheaper.
It definitely wasn't
People
$60.
snap them up, dude. They sell out, so I guess they could just price it whatever they want.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's a thing where it's like, yeah, we'll see as like how it kind of ebbs and flows as because I do think like we're definitely still in this realm of like these kind of nostalgic movies coming back and like people tapping into that. Like we'll see what happens with the releases in the future. I just
Yeah.
know I got I bought a Death by VHS copy for $30, and I think
Those also looked pretty good.
Oh.
I saw the back art,
Mhm.
and I'm into it because that was pretty much
Nice.
the deciding factor for me. I didn't buy one,
Yeah.
but it was. I looked at the art that they used for the official release, and then I looked at the Death by VHS art,
Yeah.
and I liked it just as well as the official art.
Yeah. I like these like little creators.
Yeah.
doing their
Yeah.
thing.
No, it's a really cool, nice, and another element of it too is actually this is probably the biggest element as to like why the DIY guys get to it's the fact that you can record over VHS versus like you can't reburn a DVD necessarily,
No,
and it's
Nope.
like I feel like it's a realm where like these creators can like get access to all sorts of used even if it has stuff on it, like still
Yeah.
can and make their art. But yeah, sir, I feel like I've been ranting.
How are we going to steer this conversation to the movie we're talking about?
well, we were just talking about Alien Romulus, a 20th Century Fox release under Disney.
Oh,
and,
that's true.
and the movie that we're going to talk about is technically now a
That's-
Disney film.
Yeah,
That is insane.
because it was a 20th Century Fox, so now it is owned by Disney. Yeah,
That is really, really funny.
that is really funny. God.
It's funnier if you've seen the movie.
Disney Plus or Hulu, please put Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Maybe Hulu. I was about to
Available
say
on
next,
streaming.
right next to Cars.
Yeah.
right next to Moana 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they'd ever do that. I'm pretty sure right now the only way, like, I know you can rent it, but like it's on Criterion channel.
Is it on Criterion Channel?
Yeah, it's on the Criterion channel.
Oh, good.
As well as being, we watched my Criterion Blu-ray, which I want to give a little bit of a preface to. Yeah, now we're talking about the movie. Me and Joseph watched it. I bought the Blu-ray off of a suggestion of one of the Criterion Closet videos. I forget who it was, but somebody I really like recommended it on there, and I'm like, oh, I got to check it out, and like I got it on the sale, and I started watching it, and I kind of wasn't vibing with it. I by myself, like I didn't know what to expect from it.
Yeah,
and actually didn't finish the movie. Like I stopped watching half. I had to go to work or something. Which after rewatching it or finishing it with Joseph, I'm like, oh, I really wish I'd stuck through because
oh my god,
the movie kind of demands to be seen, not necessarily with an audience, but definitely with
Not
a
alone.
friend
Yeah.
or a loved one.
Yeah.
No, this is
so you can look at each other and be like, "Holy shit!"
you look at each other and be like, "What the
yeah,
fuck?"
that's what we did.
What
Yeah,
am I
because my
watching?
fiance was also there.
Yeah.
Avery was
Oh,
there.
nice.
Yeah, so we were all just like, "What the fuck is this movie doing?"
We were all reacting
It's like
to it.
MTV editing in 1970.
It's like all the cocaine fuel just fly, especially the
All
first.
the coke in the closet.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed it a lot more this time around. But we'll get into specifics later. Ian, I want to ask you, and we'll just, what is your history with this movie? When was the first time you saw it? Why is it special to you?
Let's see here. The first time that I watched this movie, I might have been turned on to it via music because there
Via
are
music?
via music because there are a lot of bands who have taken a lot of direct inspiration and then indirect inspiration from Russ Meyer's catalog. Russ Meyer, the quote-unquote inventor of the nudie-cutie genre of movie. And so you have like early porn. You have early sexploitation. I think that Russ Meyer is really one of the directors that really took sexploitation and brought it into a mainstream, and that was done by getting acclaim from reviewers like Roger Ebert at the time. Which will tie into this movie because Roger Ebert wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Which is wild.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So bands like Mudhoney, 90s grunge band, very popular in the 90s, still popular now, still around, take their name from a Russ Meyer movie called Mudhoney.
That's cool.
Red Cross did a cover of Look On Up From the Bottom that you hear during this movie, a song by the quote-unquote Carrie Nations. And we'll get into
That's a good song in the movie.
We'll get into fake bands soon enough.
I want to go back and listen to the soundtrack, but the one, honestly,
it's a heater.
The title track, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls song, is probably the one that sticks out in my mind the most. A lot of it because like the actual visuals in the scene are like really, it's like a black background and like things.
And it's saved until the end too, which really helps that they didn't front load the Beyond the Valley of the Dolls theme. So yeah, that's really what turned me onto it. And like Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, another famous Russ Meyer movie. Faster Pussycat, a hair metal band from the 80s, takes their name from Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. So in my mid-20s, I seeked out a couple of Russ Meyer movies, definitely Faster Pussycat, Mudhoney, and Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. And Beyond the Valley of the Dolls really stuck out to me. Number one, I love a fake band.
Me too.
I love these fictionalized bands from Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem all the way up to the Carrie Nations and you name it. I am all about it. Gorillaz, technically a fake band.
The Monkees.
Lemonade Mouth.
The Monkees ended up being a real band, but you're absolutely right.
Lemonade Mouth.
Lemonade Mouth.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, when people ask me,
that's a decom, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Funnily enough, I don't know. I always tell people like when I think of left-handed guitar players, my top three. When someone says left-handed, like name three, I think Jimi Hendrix, Stella from Lemonade Mouth, Kurt Cobain. She's up there.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what turned me on to it, and like seeking out cult movies as a whole in my early to mid 20s. Beyond the Valley of Dolls really cemented a special place in my heart after the very first time that I saw it.
It does stick with you.
Yeah, no, there have been definitely scenes and themes that are stuck in my head, and just looking into like Russ Meyer as a filmmaker and like his history is like really interesting. Like there's on the Blu-ray earlier today I was watching there's a pretty cool like 30-minute main feature just about the legacy of the movie on there, and it was talking about how he directed like war films, right? Like he was at first.
He was. That was his position in the military.
Yeah.
Was that he was it wasn't a documentarian. I guess it was just be a photographer.
Yeah.
In
war photographer.
War photographer.
Oh,
that was his thing.
Videographer.
And then when he got out, he used a lot of the money that he had acquired, and then he also was hired on pretty early on by Playboy to start taking pictures. So sex was always a really big.
Yeah, honestly, there were a few points where like I would turn, like watching this movie, I was like, are we watching a softcore porn movie right now?
I mean, it essentially is, minus like the studio. Like it is X-rated.
It is X-rated, and
they wanted
now
R-rating.
now it's an NC-17.
Yeah,
in
I did not know that.
2024, it's an NC-17 technically.
This is our hardest core movie we've ever seen. Yeah, we've ever done on the podcast.
And there's really not any hardcore sex.
It honestly is just an
really.
R by today's standards.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There's just shit tons of topless women. It's like Russ Meyer fucking loves breasts.
There's
and
boobs in like half the scenes. Yeah,
exactly. And what I was gonna say with the whole thing, like apparently when he was in France during he was like kind of touring filming during World War II. Somebody, him and his crew, like they went to a brothel in France, and apparently like he was 23 at the time. He was a virgin, and apparently that experience
influenced his filmmaking career.
Yeah, and,
his whole damn life,
his whole career, and apparently like the my brain isn't. Sorry, the sex worker that he lost his virginity to had very big breasts, and notably, it was something that and apparently it made a big impression on.
Photo burned into the back of his feeble little mind.
I guess he's the one guy I know that has like a backstory to why he likes big boobs.
Yeah, very specific.
He has lore.
I guess there's a really fascinating book that I have yet to be able to track down. It's kind of expensive as books go. About his life. That really paints a really good picture about all that stuff that I've once again yet to read, but seems very fascinating.
Cool. Yeah.
I definitely want to seek out.
He seems like a really interesting person.
Yeah, I definitely want to seek out his other films for sure. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh, we have to watch Faster Pussycat.
Okay,
yeah,
come over to the crib.
Honestly,
I got a waiting pool full of mayonnaise.
Hell yeah.
And
we'll watch it in the mayonnaise.
I have a VHS copy of Faster Pussycat Kill Bill.
Oh, dude, on VHS.
On VHS too, perfect.
Yep.
Scenic.
Put it on the old projector.
Oh hell yeah!
You just did the Sully from Monsters Inc.
I think my favorite. I got the Sixth Sense VHS. I forget if I got it from here or if I ever got it from somewhere else. But
you might have got it from here.
But the what's it called? Me and Courtney, we watched it on the projector, and it's funny. I know that it's completely separated from this, but watching VHS on a projector to me feels like I'm watching like a film projector.
Ooh, especially on a shitty projector. My downstairs projector is a shitty projector, and I have an HD one upstairs in my room.
Yeah,
I have no televisions in my home.
Damn.
Yeah, it's all projectors or
that's
nothing.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Does it seem pretentious? I don't know.
I've got a projector.
TVs are fucking expensive, dog. I thrifted both of those.
Yeah, I got a projector for $40. Yeah,
I thrifted both of my projectors.
I mean, also it's way easier to move a projector, bring a projector somewhere.
The screen can be as big as you want.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's a little bit more magic to a projector or a CRT TV than like digital, I guess, because
absolutely,
because like I don't know, it's softer. Something like with like the colors just hitting a different way.
Perfect, you know.
Yeah, no, and that imperfection is what what goes.
It do go.
But yeah, Joseph, I wanted to ask you, even though you had not heard of this movie before. Normally we talk about all of our history with like how we had heard about the movie, but what I want to ask is like what other movies was it kind of bringing up?
Yeah, honestly, I hadn't really. I had heard the title of this movie, and I'd heard like other filmmakers like reference it and stuff as like an inspiration, but I had never seen it or like really seen like a single frame of it. But yeah, no, it really made me think of like Boogie Nights and like Goodfellas. Like it's got, I think is it like the earliest example of that kind of structure of like, look how crazy these people are living, and then in the last third we'll show you like the consequences of this crazy living.
That's really interesting. I've never really thought about the movie in that way, but I'm gonna say no
No.
to that. There has to be better
Yeah,
examples,
there's gotta be
especially
like old mob movies and stuff.
as far as like consequences to actions. Like that's been a big part of filmmaking for a very long time.
It's a very specific kind of like that Scorsese feel, like the
quick cuts kind of made me think of Goodfellas, because there are a lot of quicker cuts, especially in the third act.
The editing in this movie, I remember looking, this is like MTV, like it's crazy.
It is so
like
wild.
I haven't seen a movie this old be this quickly cut. It's nuts.
It's in your face pretty much from the beginning.
Constantly, yeah.
Especially in the first third, where like we're kind of at the Z-Men's main party.
Bam.
And everything, just every 2 seconds, people are cutting off half words. Like very clearly just like fueled by. Well, at that time I was like, oh, this editing is fueled by cocaine, but it's very clearly on purpose.
Really gets your attention,
Because as through the second and third act of the movie, as we kind of like are getting into the stories of the characters and their relationships, like I don't want to say the editing becomes more conventional, but like it calms down a bit. Like we're sobering up. Like the party, like the party's done.
Yeah.
So the next day it's Sunday.
By the time you're in the third act, it's very much slower, and it becomes this movie has no fucking idea how to pick a lane.
No,
it really doesn't.
No, it like turns into like a melodrama toward the end. Yeah,
it's an absolute melodrama, and this movie
soap opera,
like it is a farce. This movie is a farce.
Yeah.
There's a reason why it was not okayed to be a direct sequel to Valley of the Dolls.
It's very clearly not, as said in text at the beginning.
Absolutely not. So they decided to go ahead and make it happen as a farce and as a send-up of these kinds of movies that don't really exist anymore. Like straight up melodramas.
Yeah.
You cannot go to the theater and watch a melodrama.
No.
Yeah. That's something I definitely found in a lot of like kind of researching this movie, is that like it is kind of parodying and doing satire of,
that's interesting,
like you said, genres that don't exist, and like these kind of tropes that were super common in like old Hollywood, kind of like old Hollywood hoity-toity kind of filmmaking, and that and tying it back to the whole sex element of it too, is like that was and something that I felt throughout a lot of this movie is that they're talking about how what's it called, the intention behind the studio wanting to make this movie was they wanted to market to baby boomers.
Yes.
Like they wanted to market this to the hippie to the hippie generation.
You can totally tell that. Yeah,
and it's like
as it was on its way kind of out.
Yeah, and you can tell that too.
Like I felt very much like the commercialization of hippie culture. Like 69's done.
Yeah.
Like Woodstock's over, and
look back and see the high water mark.
Exactly. and at first I didn't really catch on to the satire motor. Like this just kind of feels like, at first I was like, this just kind of feels like they're trying to appeal to like young people kind of thing. But then as it was going, I'm like, oh, this is like they're making fun of the old people who are trying to make a movie. Like they're making fun of the studio old people who are trying to make a movie to appeal to young people, but it's all a joke.
Yeah,
exactly.
The dialogue is like a really big indicator of that.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh,
the very strange dialogue.
It's so strange, and so it has its moments of being stilted, and it has its moments of being meta-contextual that nobody understands.
It's like weird slang that like they drop in.
You trying to bogart that joint, man?
There's even things that are even more like just way the fuck out there, like especially, and it's a very like cringeworthy scene. The very first scene with a custodian at the high school dance.
Oh yeah,
where the Kelly Affair at the time, they become the Carrie Nations, are playing, and there's a custodian that leans to another. It's so gross. It's so fucking gross. And he says, "I'd like to cut that."
Yeah.
We all looked at each other and was like, what the fuck does he mean?
Say, like, holy shit. Like,
and you were like, I think he means like, I want to bang her. And I was like, I know what it probably means, but
and it also seems
way to say it.
I was about to say, and it also seems like a murderous thing. Like I'd like to fucking kill her.
It's like, is that how people used to talk? Like that they just want to like they use the same terminology for both.
Like I said, I don't even think
Yeah.
people would
Yeah.
recognize that at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, people
everyone
like-
was looking at each other in
Oh.
the theater back then too.
Right.
Like what?
I know that it's
Like to cut
rancid.
that? Yeah.
From what I understand about the when this movie was released, critically it was kind of all over the place as far as like I think a lot of people just didn't get it.
Yeah.
But it did make its money back, probably due
It
to
did make money.
Yeah. It-
Movie money.
yeah, made a shit ton
It
of
was
movie-
certainly a movie, and
It
it
was-
made
yeah.
made some money.
yeah.
Made some money off LC.
Exactly, and then over the years, it kind of turned into this cult classic. I thought it was interesting little factoid. Russ Meyer tried to edit out all the blinks. Like he basically
That's fucking
like
great.
he instructed all the act. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I love that, and I didn't really notice that, but it's all
That's-
coming to me.
that's
the
kinda
many
perfect.
times that I've watched this, but like
there are a few blinks
It
where
partially
Espe-
explains like the insane like pace.
yeah.
yeah, and especially like Kelly,
Yeah.
arguably
Oh, yeah,
our
the
main
these,
character. It's
She
her
Dead,
eyes
wide
are
eyes.
always so wide.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yep.
Yeah, no
That's
matter
really funny.
no matter what she's doing.
That's insane.
We can talk a little bit about let's talk a little bit about the kind of more breaking down kind of movie structurally, like go through some of the scenes.
Yeah.
So this movie opens up with basically as the titles are going, we're seeing the aftermath of some kind of chaotic, crazy thing.
Yeah.
Or I didn't even recognize it as the aftermath of something when we first watched it. Like the opening where you see a man dressed as a Nazi.
It started.
Right.
It started, and we see all this crazy shit happening, and the yellow text is scrolling over it, and
This
I was
is
like,
covering-
"This is an assault on my senses already."
For
Yeah.
1970 to have front-loaded credits is frankly brave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like,
do
Because
love it.
that time had already passed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
For the most part, and then you're seeing the aftermath or
These
the
characters
the
we don't
during
know.
math. I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah,
what
just-
to.
Yeah.
I don't just
These
some
people
some-
are dressed
of a
insanely.
murder scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, just a Nazi man running around and like someone's chasing someone with a
It's
sword.
like, is that guy dressed like a vampire?
Yeah, just like what the fuck is going on? And I'm excited to rewatch it now, just with the context of like
Yeah. I think I was like this
That's Wonder Woman.
This this yellow text that's scrolling over this footage I don't understand is so unpleasant to watch right now.
It's so distracting, and the
Yeah.
movie does that a few times where like they overlay like the road trip scene, probably one of my favorite, like the road trip scene where they're driving to L.A.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
they superimpose a map.
the
Yeah,
white
yeah.
map that's moving at
You're
like
talking,
a
I was
different
like, this
rate.
is because
Yes.
I think you were like, this is insane, and I'm really happy that they did this.
Yeah, no, it's just like it's really trippy, like just at like it.
Super high contrast. Like it's 100% opacity, like right on top of the footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And with a song called "Go Where the Gentle People."
Yeah.
So we're going to Los Angeles.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of when not just movies, but like when media makes you feel not sober, just by how it's presented. Like this
Big fan of that.
weird example I'm thinking of. There's a Batman comic from the New 52, Batman Court of Owls, Volume 2, if I remember correctly, where Batman's been drugged in the comic, right? And as you're reading it, the text and the pages start to flip
Yeah.
orientation. And you gotta like rotate the book to keep reading it, and then like pages start copying each other, and text is like printed, like on purpose, and it's like it's making you.
That is what it
like-
feels like when I'm high because I have to like reread the same thing over and over again.
And no, I'm just a big fan of that, and I thought the opening was very interesting, and then early on, just looking at the plot on Wikipedia, we get introduced to the Kelly affair. Do you know why? Quest, you might have a deeper insight.
Mhm.
Why exactly Z-Man? In your interpretation, why does Z-Man change them to the Carrie Nations? What does the name change specifically mean?
That seems to be kind of like it. It didn't happen super often as far as popular music would go, but when an act would be discovered, they might change their name.
Yeah.
Just one off the top of my head that I've been thinking a lot about lately was Black Sabbath. Their name was Earth
Oh.
shortly before they
Yeah.
got
Black
signed.
Sabbath rules as a name.
Black
so,
Sabbath
yeah.
is a much better name. So sometimes a producer or
It's 1/3 of Wind and Fire.
they were just called Wind and Fire.
yeah.
And then they
yeah.
were like, no, it's Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's not accurate. I'm just ripping.
Black
but-
Sabbath, Wind and Fire.
So sometimes you would have that kind of interference as to Like when people
it's
change
just something that would happen.
when actors change their name and then have stage names, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it wasn't super common, but it would
Gotcha.
happen.
Yeah, just
So
like,
Z-Man was just saying, your old name sucks. I'm giving you a new one.
It was definitely used in that context as like Z-Man
Yeah.
taking control,
as like
now
a
my
power
band.
move.
Yeah.
a power move away from Harris,
Right.
who was the band manager. I'm
Right,
using
yeah.
huge air quotes here because he was also fucking the lead singer
Yeah.
at the time.
The boyfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the boyfriend,
Yeah.
the tragic boyfriend.
Yeah.
Who
Deeply
was
tragic.
deeply tragic. Who, when they
Dramatic suicide attempt.
they
later
get to
on.
LA at this point, and they go to a huge party,
Yeah.
and they are essentially noticed. And that poor bastard,
Yeah.
a porn star, just comes on to him immediately.
Yeah.
And he can't
Aw.
seem to get away from
Immediately,
Poor
he
Harris.
gets sullied by the sex, drugs, and rock and roll of L.A.
Harris, no.
Yeah, no, he probably has the most tragic. He probably has the most tragedy of all the characters.
Yeah.
Like honestly, as far as like where he paraplegic and
We'll get to that at the end, because through the power of love, he's
Yep.
able to walk again.
Yeah, that's a really weird tone I want to talk about later for sure.
my gosh.
when that happens,
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh.
at the weirdest possible time.
yeah. Oh, an important
I
plot.
love it.
Important plot point. Like one of the other reasons they're traveling to L.A. or like one is Kelly, the main character, her aunt, heiress to a family fortune. She is promised. Is it like their grandparents die or like what's the? She's owed some money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
Kelly is the cousin of a heiress
Mhm.
who had just came into about $1 million.
Yep.
And they decide to go to LA to kind of try to capitalize on that, which is also a little ugly. It's a
Yeah.
little ugly. But
Dead people money.
they show up and they go to a Warhol style
Yep.
commune that her aunt is running.
Mhm.
And she immediately is like, oh, wait, are you related to me? And she's like, yes. And then she's like, I think you're entitled to a third, which is wonderful. And then we have another character called Porter, who is the accountant,
the
I
law-
suppose.
like the lawyer accountant, yeah.
accountant.
Yeah, this character goes a lot further than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all the way until the
Yeah,
very end.
He's like one of
which
the
is
main characters.
very silly. And this guy is dirt dog of dirt dogs.
Yeah, he's gross, dude.
Yeah, he's nasty.
Yeah.
in the movie.
He is
pretty much
so
becomes
gross.
obsessed with Kelly.
Yeah.
At first, he's against her, saying like this like hippie's gonna come in and steal all your money type
Yeah.
deal.
But
and-
I also want to fuck her.
yeah, makes him turn the tide.
So that's where we come in, is that she has been thrust into, via her inheritance, quote unquote,
Mhm.
into this scene of popularity and notoriety, and into the LA
Yep.
party scene, essentially the who's who.
Yep.
And then we
Yeah.
get
The entertainment industry.
we get an incredible introductory scene to most of our other characters
Mhm.
during this time. We go over to a party at record producer Z-Man's
Yep.
house,
Mm-hmm.
and the real life band Strawberry Alarm Clock, one of they had
Well, I'm looking at I can see I see him here. Well, they have so many members.
they had a huge hit in the late 70s
a real
garage
band.
scene, Incense and Peppermints, and it's very cute to see them. They don't even play Incense. No, they do play Incense and Peppermints, don't they?
I don't remember. I'm not a fan of the band. I just remember pointing it out, like being like, "Oh, it's a good band."
They're pretty much a one and done.
Yeah.
They didn't have any other major hits
Mm-hmm.
at
But
the
they were in
time.
this movie.
But they were in this movie, and that's some shit that I
Immortalized, yeah.
fucking love. I love to see a real life band in a pop culture
Yep.
artifact, like a movie or a television show. A television show in particular that I would like to just give a quick shout out. There's an episode of the Flintstones where the Beau Brummels play themselves
That's
as the
wild.
Beau Brummel Stones, and they play a Laugh Laugh, which was a huge hit for them in the 60s.
Brummel Stones.
So good. I love a fake band. I love a real band in a
fake
in a
situation.
work of fiction. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I love the
That's pretty
opposite
sick.
too.
That reminds me when Sugar Ray in the first Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that is
dude.
way up there for me
Yeah.
too.
I'm a big
yeah.
fan of Weird Al and Johnny Bravo. That
Yeah.
shit rocked my world
Yes,
as a kid. Yeah.
absolutely.
I remember seeing that, and then I had to go to school, and I was so fucking pissed because I couldn't watch the rest of the episode. I was like, what the fuck? This exists?
So we're introduced to these other characters during the party that are going to be throughout the rest of the film.
Mhm.
There is
knockoff Mark Hamill.
Knockoff Mark Hamill,
Who's
who is the
Johnny-
budding star.
Johnny Rock or Randy Rock I have a Wikipedia.
Oh, no. You're thinking of... Wait, shit.
I'm thinking of Lance Rock.
Lance Rock.
When I say
Lance
knockoff.
Lance
Knockoff.
Rock,
That's a porn star.
who
name.
is and he may or may not have already been a porn star. He's definitely portrayed as more of a gigolo and a budding screen star. But he does most of his work as a gigolo because we see him first with an older woman who has clearly paid for his services for the evening, and then he ends up ditching her for Carrie. And then we see Ashley St. Ives, who is the porn star who comes on to our other protagonist. Onto Harris. And then... Do we see the wrestler in the first one?
My favorite character, Randy Black. No, Randy
Oof.
Randy
Yeah.
Black comes into he's in the middle of the movie, which I was.
Everybody's got a porn star name.
Which
Everybody does have a porn star name.
The behind the scenes confirmed for me that he indeed was very much a parody of like the public persona of Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Randy Black. I think we meet him at a later party scene, honestly, because
he honestly shows up fairly late in the movie.
Yeah,
because he has like a pretty big part.
because Pet, the drummer of the band, the only black member of the band, she gets in a relationship with another guy. I'm looking at the Wikipedia.
Oh, the young.
Emerson Thorne.
Emerson.
Yes. Who he's
the aspiring. Lawman.
Yeah, the guy
he wants to be a lawyer.
Yeah, he's in school.
He's working. Yeah, he's working as a waiter.
He's not part of this machine.
Yeah, he's not part of this big LA machine. He's
one of the good ones.
He's an intellectual. Exactly.
He is a genuine guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So of course he gets cuckolded.
And there's a fun love triangle that happens later in the movie. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia. I'm having a difficult time remembering what order, what scenes even freaking happen.
Yeah, it honestly feels.
It's
like
probably
it was
because
a
of the
trip.
cuts.
Yeah, it feels. Yeah.
But but Lance Rock tries to convince Kelly that she deserves more of the money.
Yes.
Is at one point, which at this point in the movie, I was trying to think, like, is he trying to like steal her money, or is he actually like trying to be on her side? Like,
he wants her to have more money, so he'll get more money.
I felt some ill intention there with
absolutely. I mean, anybody who comes on to anyone who is in our core four, which is the band and Harris, has ill intention.
Yep. Hollywood's a cesspool is the point.
Yeah.
And this stuff will corrupt. It's a morality play.
But
gosh, and it gets so far into the weeds as far as a play.
Yeah.
It becomes so much more of a drama. We get some songs every now and again.
Yeah.
But
by the end, it turns complete batshit.
Yeah, but I feel like ultimately a lot of the central core. We also get just looking at the Wikipedia here. Harris is basically I can't speak today. Harris is basically what's the word I'm looking for?
Stupid.
He's mad about.
He is quite stupid.
Stupid.
He is very dumb.
Yeah, he is.
I'm trying to put together what I'm trying to say. Harris is kind of in an emo phase about about Kelly hooking up with Lance Rock and becoming part of the system, and leaving. I feel like ultimately what he's going through is like he's feeling left out of this whole machine. Like he's being left behind.
He's a real mope.
Yeah, exactly. like all these characters are.
This porn star wants to have sex with me.
Yeah, the girls in the band are all off doing these things, and Kelly, I don't know if they straight up say that they're dating at the beginning of the movie, but Harris and Kelly.
No, but they make out and they're like
they
imply that they have sex in the van, like a weird alternate reality version of Scooby-Doo
in front of the band
because they all meet in the van.
That's what I said too. They got into the band. I was like, "This is Scooby-Doo,"
and then they just pass around the joint, and you're like, "All right, well, go ahead and solve some mysteries."
Get in the mystery machine. Hell yeah, yeah.
No. So basically, Harris is like, he's being emotional over that.
Josie and the Pussycats stole the mystery machine.
That's
it. That could have been this movie.
Yeah, that would have been sick. I'm surprised there wasn't like a Scooby-Doo cameo. But let's see. I'm trying to think. There's that.
Vibe.
There's that scene on the beach, which I just remember. I remember this specific shot of the porn star. Like they're on the beach. Her and Harris are making out. He doesn't want to. I forget what the it's his whole thing is like he wants an actual relationship.
Yeah.
He wants an actual relationship.
They never have sex in a bed.
They never have sex in a bed
Yeah.
because they have sex in a Rolls.
Rolls. Yeah.
Also, okay.
And then they cut to the Bentley and Rolls logos as that's happening.
Quick cuts.
Yeah.
Quick cuts between the Bentley and Rolls.
Yeah.
And also, side tangent, I have published on a 12-inch record. It's a compilation series called Kill by Meth that they don't do anymore. It was a Canadian company.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the B-side first song of a solo project that I had called Ouija Boys, and it's called Rolls Royce, and I sample that, and the only
That's
lyrics
sick.
to the song are, "There's nothing like a Rolls Royce,
Yeah.
not even a Bentley." So I can send you that, and you
Yeah.
can like impose that if you want.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But like it's really stuck with me over time. But Harris's deal is that it's too much all at once, and he's lost what he had, which is his relationship with Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
The corruption
And
is seeped into the band.
At the point where they're at the beach together, when they have not had sex on a bed, and he makes a point to be like, we haven't even made it in a bed, and then she's had enough, and he's also very much taken by drugs and alcohol, and he's impotent in that time.
Yep.
Even though he didn't even really want to
Yeah.
while they're on the beach, and then she makes a point to basically call him a queer, and then salute him, and then walk
and
up,
then grabs the
walk-
next
and
guy that
grabs
she
the
sees.
very
Yeah.
next man that she sees,
Yeah.
and gives him a kiss. So there are so many things in this movie that do not fly, and that I do not condone in 2024.
Oh yeah.
But that are also fucking hilariously dumb,
Yes.
like that. And we'll get to a couple others that aren't so hilariously dumb,
Yeah.
especially near the end of the movie.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
But that is one of a few to come
Yeah.
that are disappointing,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah, this movie has aged.
Yeah, it's age. I feel like there are other older films that have aged way worse.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no.
But like talking specifically about something that I find interesting. Speaking as just I want to talk a little bit real quickly about like the black characters in this movie and how they're represented.
Please.
Apparently,
They're kind of like segregated from the plot.
they have their own plot, but
Isn't that
the,
weird?
Yeah.
The thing that apparently apparently at the time, people of color apparently really did like this movie, and a part of it was because there weren't a whole lot of depictions of like quote unquote middle class like educated like black people in media.
No.
And like the
Emerson,
Patton Emerson
is very much that person.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's like an educated, like intelligent guy. They're like
Look
a middle
what
class
happens
couple.
to him.
They frolic in the woods and
They
fall in
do
the hay.
frolic. It's pretty fun.
You know,
They
and,
literally roll in the hay.
Yeah, they
And-
they literally frolic and then they literally roll in the hay.
It's this romantic plot and this whole thing that like is very much like at the time. These are just like activities and things that like historically just like only white characters have done, and like apparently black audiences like critics and people at the time like did appreciate that representation. And I thought that as for the things that haven't aged in this movie, race representation isn't like I feel like it's represented well, except maybe I don't know. Randy Black is really funny to me, even though he's like
name.
He's kind of problematic. He's
We
like
laughed at it every single time we heard the name.
I need to make my next D&D character.
Yeah, Randy Black.
Is Randy Black?
I don't know what the vibe. Maybe he'll be like a barbarian. Like,
Fuck, you're really taking it to the next level.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the vibe would be for sure. Or my next NPCs because I
love it.
I DM. We got to do a D&D live show.
That's a good idea.
I have been wanting to play. So
yeah, absolutely.
let me get in on a 2-hour session.
It's fun.
See how far we get.
He's a good DM.
Hell yeah, that'd be fun. I try.
Yeah,
I try my
you
best.
succeed, dude.
I'm sure you do great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But fucking let's see what's next in the.
It does take a bit to fall into it. You were just saying that like you might need to watch it more than once.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm going to.
I
as well.
do think that this does bear worth repeating
Yeah.
as far as viewing goes, because of how disorienting the first
Yeah.
viewing can be. And once again, it harkens back to like a lot of us, even the age that we are, we're all in our
Yeah.
like 30s, right?
Yeah,
So-
almost.
Almost. So, and people our age and younger will not understand
Yeah.
where this movie is coming from, the
No.
age that this movie is coming from, what it's aping on, what it's making fun of.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
get it.
Nope.
A
It's
lot
a
of,
complete vacuum.
Yeah, a lot of the cultural context. I'm
weird.
the most baby here probably. I'm 26.
Okay, yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
but
just
what?
gonna
Baby.
pinch
Little
She's just
guy.
a little, he's such a little guy. Just a silly little guy.
Yeah.
Aw.
But I still I feel like I know more. I know that I know way more about old
Yeah.
content than the typical person. in my age.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I know for
Yeah.
but yeah, no, like
Media
definitely.
literate.
I feel like a lot of the connotations I was making with this movie was like, and the only thing I could do was like try to think about what modern movies that it like heavily reminded me of the most, and like
Oh yeah, I got big Boogie Nights energy.
the one I thought of the most was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and The Nice Guys, which
just
you know,
vibe wise, yeah.
which like both of those, like I think I can't think of a modern movie that has like the sexual element in there
Yeah.
as much as like this movie does, but like as far as like movies about the craziness of Hollywood
Yeah.
and about this specific era of Hollywood,
Yeah, I love that. I love the structure. You know, I love that. Like, look at how insane this stuff can get, and look at how crazy these people are living, and then it just falls off a cliff at the end, and like everything just goes to shit. I love that kind of structure.
And I guess that kind of leads into where we were with the movie,
Yeah.
as in the Carrie Nations are now published and touring
Yeah,
and having great success, and Harris is getting more depressed.
Yeah.
being a big old rock and roll band.
And then they are on a talk show. The Carrie Nations
Yeah.
are on a
Oh yes, I
talk
remember
show.
this scene now. Yes,
And
this is when I got up to go to the bathroom. I'm so glad you guys paused it because I was
They-
like, oh, they're gonna do another musical number. I have to go.
the next musical number should come.
Yeah,
And they're talking backstage about what song should we play.
yeah,
And we're going to play Find It, which is the first musical number that they do at the top of the movie.
yep,
A very much Harris-coded song.
yep.
Mhm.
And a coded song as to finding success for him.
Yep.
And meanwhile,
And then we tilt
he-
up to
we
the rafters.
tilt up to the rafters, and Harris is planning on
he's drunk as
either
hell.
he is fucked up,
He's standing, looking down.
standing, looking down,
What a
stammering,
what a
looking down,
Dramatic way to attempt suicide.
yeah,
and he attempts,
Yeah.
yeah.
the act, and they are mid-song, and he jumps from the rafters,
Yep.
Yeah, no.
paralyzing himself.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's this is definitely a big turn in the movie for
Yeah.
me as far as like just knowing where it was gonna go.
This was like the William H. Macy killing himself scene.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
Because, like, this is the turning point.
Not,
yeah.
not laughing at suicide at all, but
Definitely.
laughing at the William H.
Yeah.
Macy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes it into a super serious place, and there's another plot line where Harris does he does have sex with Casey, the bass player of the band.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we cannot forget about that.
Yeah, it's an important plot line. She's pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Also, may or may not have been
Yeah.
taken advantage
Yes.
of.
Yeah. She kicks him out.
Yeah, she doesn't remember what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Yeah, something that hasn't aged well. I mean,
Big
it.
dick.
Yeah, it. Yeah, that definitely makes me think about the drama of like what's it's weighing on her whether or not she wants to get an abortion.
Yeah, she's
Because-
pregnant.
Another big
Yeah.
and timely
Yeah.
portion of this movie,
Yeah.
and
It sucks that it's still so relevant. That
it
topic
does
of
suck
discussion.
that it's
Man.
still so relevant, and none of us really have anything to say about that,
Yeah.
being biological men. But it also kind of gives me the ick on how they portray the process of having an abortion
Yeah.
in this movie, because they don't play the psycho theme over the abortion doctor, like
Yeah.
ushering her into the stirrups, but
Yeah,
they
but she
all
does-
they all
Yeah.
but do
She
that.
does shriek.
And
when
she does
she-
shriek,
Yeah.
and that's the end of the
Yeah.
scene.
It's like a
Yeah.
scene out of Saw and
Yeah,
shit.
it's like
yeah,
a horror movie all of a
God,
sudden.
I completely erased this section of the movie
Yeah.
from my brain. But yeah, it is. Yeah, it is like
There's a lot going on. It's okay.
a scene out of the show.
Yeah.
Repeat.
Oh my gosh, especially at this point in the movie, because
there's
we're
like
we're
30 plots to follow.
we're
Yeah.
following 4 different plots
Yeah.
of the main characters.
This is why I need to rewatch it.
And
Shit's going crazy at this point.
so
Yeah.
we get there, and then I believe it's after that we tidy up Randy Black.
Yeah. So there's a final
Yeah.
so while Emerson, Pet is having an affair with Randy Black, Emerson comes home and catches them together. And then there's a crazy car. It's an action scene. This next scene,
Yeah.
like probably one of the most interesting scenes. In the
It
movie.
is an action scene.
Where like
unstoppable force means runs over unmovable object.
yeah, Randy Black is storms off shirtless. But I was hoping that
Yeah, he never puts on.
God,
a
he's
shirt.
so hot.
he's very hot.
He's so hot.
Indeed.
He just,
He
we
has
were
a
like, is he gonna put a shirt on? No.
Nope.
No.
like when he comes out when he drives the car.
Russ
like,
Meyer demanded that he not put a shirt on.
yeah. He has a shirt on over his shoulder.
There
the whole
will be
time.
nipples in every frame of this movie.
Yeah, as if he's gonna put on the shirt, but then he throws it in the back of the car. But yeah, Emerson is there trying to block him, basically like trying to. I don't know if it's insinuating that like he's trying to specifically fight him, but like
Yeah.
the dude was like was cheating, so
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
which
he,
at this
he
point.
like lays this big long. This is earlier, but he lays this like big long speech about how you need to live for today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And we're getting into that.
Yeah.
We're getting into that. We're getting into the third act of the
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
at this point, and that's when it becomes a full-on melodrama.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, babes.
Like
I'll-
unambiguously.
Yeah.
Unambiguously,
Yeah.
right out in front,
Yeah.
everybody has a little speech.
Yeah. Yes,
Just
that's so true.
A little speech
Everyone-
on the morality
Yeah.
of how we're feeling.
We're gonna tell you exactly what's going on in all of our souls.
And it's, I believe it's kicked off by Randy's.
Yeah, it is.
It
Yeah,
goes-
Because
that is a big
otherwise,
shift. We're
otherwise
like-
you're going to go down
like-
for the full count.
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing about Randy is he's always talking in terms of boxing.
Absolutely.
He sees
That's all he knows.
Yeah,
he
that's
sees his
all
whole
he
life
knows.
as just a boxing metaphor.
He's
That's very true.
constantly metaphoring about boxing.
Everything's a competition.
Yeah,
Really is what it comes down to. I feel
Yeah.
like with a lot
Cut
of
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's
with-
very astute. That's very astute.
I don't got a cut man in my corner. Yeah. I remember when we were watching, I think I was making the joke like, what if he had like Duke from the Rocky movies? But yeah, so there's this whole thing where Emerson, he's like Randy tries to run him over with his car,
And he does.
and he does like he's pinned,
Ditches him in the flowers.
exactly pinned to the top of the cars, and in the flowers. I thought he was dead for a minute, Emerson.
Yeah.
When
At
Pet,
this
Yeah, me
point, you
too.
don't know
Yeah,
who's
it's
going
kind
to
of a
live and
fake
who's going to
out,
die.
yeah,
Shit's about to get real.
Pet comes out and saves him, and he's alive. And I think that's the end of that. Is that where things end up with Randy Black? Is that the end of that plot line, or is there's more later with him, right?
Yeah, I think that they cover Randy in the end narration.
In the epilogue, yeah.
Yeah, in the epilogue. Because this movie has 3 endings.
Oh my god, it does.
It's
yeah.
like Lord of the Rings. It just
It
Yeah.
is like Lord of the Rings.
It
It
just-
goes on for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're coming up on the true climax.
Yeah, the giant thing that happens.
yeah.
of the end of the movie. So we have had our abortion. We've had our
Yep.
we've had our
Love triangle.
We
Crazy
have
killer.
had our suicide attempt.
Yep.
We have had
He's Harris is in recovery, I guess.
Harris is in recovery, and Kelly has came back around to Harris.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of ugly
a little
in
weird, yeah.
2024 standards. Kind of ugly that she's like, "Oh my God, I need to help this man."
Yeah.
Of course,
well,
you would
now
want to help.
he's sad.
Of course, you would want to help your friend at
Yeah.
that point, but to
That's a lot of baggage.
fully go
Yeah.
back to
Yeah.
not necessarily an abusive relationship because he never really did anything
Yeah.
that she didn't. Not to go tit for tat because I don't
Yeah.
believe in that either. But like,
Yeah, it's a little weird.
it's all very convoluted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
melodramatic.
Yep.
Much like a soap opera.
1970.
Much like a 1960s, 70s soap opera.
Yep.
And we go now to a private party held by our
By Z-Man.
one and only Z-Man.
Yep. Already a bad idea.
This is my happening, and it's freaking me out.
That's so good.
And it's a costume party, unbeknownst to those who have
Where
attended.
he is in complete control and is almost like coercing everybody to do what he wants.
Yeah, everyone's dressed
Already
as
before anyone's even taken anything.
comic
The
book
butler
characters.
is already dressed as a Nazi, though,
Which,
so
like,
we're going to go ahead and say that
is that
guy's
just straight
a
up-
stone cold piece of shit.
Yeah, is
Like,
that just straight up his uniform? Because he was talking about the Russian front earlier.
He was,
Yeah.
and I believe that is implied
Yeah,
that he is
he's just a straight up Nazi.
He's an ex-Nazi
Yeah.
who has found
Some
employment under
under Z-Man.
interesting.
under Z-Man.
I wonder what he's trying to say with that. I have no idea.
That's crazy. Well, apparently,
Hey, it's all good. It doesn't matter because you know what? That dude fucking bites it hard.
Oh, big
Indeed.
time. That guy's fucking super dead.
That guy is dead as hell.
Yeah.
from what I understand, apparently, Nazis are a bit of a motif in
Yeah.
Russ Meyer's movies, as far as like,
Maybe it shows like Z-Man doesn't really give a shit who he's around. He doesn't really like. He's like, I don't know who he associates.
Oh,
with.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great take. And as far as what you were saying with Russ Meyer, Russ Meyer wanted any kind of Nazi depicted in any kind of film that he
Yeah.
made to die.
yeah,
Very hardcore.
That's beautiful.
To
I love
die.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
yeah, very about that.
So we're at this party, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And everybody is being passed out costumes.
Everybody has to put on their uncomfortable costumes.
Yeah, somebody who does he have dressed up as Batman and Robin? I remember.
He has Robin as the gigolo.
Yes.
And
The
that makes
Gigolo
this the
is
strangest
Robin.
DCEU movie.
We have strange costumes passed out to a couple other people.
I'm gonna tell my kids this is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I actually will.
You're gonna show this movie to your kids?
No.
At a certain
No.
age. At a certain age,
Yeah,
if
like
I get
8
there.
or 9.
Yeah. like when they're like, "Oh, I'm smoking pot."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool.
Now you're ready.
Maybe the
Yeah.
TV edit. The TV edit. I don't know. The TV edit of this movie would be
fuck
like
the
fi-
TV
Is there
edit.
is there
yeah.
a TV
I
edit
don't
of
think
this
so.
movie?
It would be 15 minutes long.
The fuck is the point of the TV edit of this? It's like watching a TV edit of Caligula.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. You prude.
Speaking to. Oh no! I dropped my. Ew.
It's okay.
It's alright. It's
Are you
probably.
okay?
Yeah, it's probably fine. It's just the solid state hard drive. Yeah. What was I saying? But yeah, no. It's funnily enough. Yeah, I feel like this movie, like outside of the toplessness, it's not really that sexually explicit. Like there isn't a whole lot.
No. Yeah.
like,
it's
yeah.
not really a softcore or anything
Yeah,
like that.
like actual cinematic sex scenes. Russ Meyer just likes boobs.
Yep.
You
God
know?
forbid.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
the Protestants who raided this thing
Yeah.
with the MP was the
Yeah.
MPA a thing in
Yep,
1970.
I think
yeah.
so.
Yeah. Like they would never give, and actually from what I,
NC-17 is crazy.
from what I understand, well at the time X,
It was
they
X
they
at
didn't
the
have
time.
NC-17, but like
I wish we still had that. NC-17 is so lame.
X sounds cooler. Like,
X
yeah,
is
I'm
such
going
a
to see
cool.
an X.
It's an
movie.
X-rated movie. Yeah.
Yeah. But from what I understand,
Ty West, he was like, if only X was an X.
they had I feel from what I understand, they had more of an issue with the violence towards the end of the movie rather than the sexual content.
Yeah.
And we are getting
'Cause-
right there.
Kind of a
baby.
Tarantino movie in that sense.
So once again, the ending reminded me of Once Upon a Time. Actually, I know for a fact because the whole ending massacre that's about to happen.
Yeah.
From what I understand, was a commentary on the Manson murders.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
and
No,
I-
it feels like
and
that.
you can see it. You can see it.
It feels like that. It feels like this is like when the party ends and everyone comes down and like everyone like this is when this kind of culture starts to turn really bad.
The Manson murders, if the call was coming from inside the house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
exactly.
Because Z-Man ends up going on a full rampage.
Yeah.
After
After the colored
They've t-
lighting
they-
scene
they have
of them
pat-
taking their drugs.
they have passed out drugs, and
Yeah.
yes, I'm Z-Man is
yeah.
they them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Z-Man is they them.
Mhm.
As a queer person, I'm going to go ahead and label Z-Man as a they them,
Yeah.
Okay.
and undercover they them until this reveal that's coming up.
Can we bring up how Z-Man, because we haven't mentioned it, Z-Man talks in Shakespearean prose this entire movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Z-Man fancies themselves as a thespian.
Yeah.
And anything that they have to say to anyone needs to be drawn out
Yeah.
and as theatrical as possible.
This person would get on my nerves so quickly.
At a party?
Yeah, oh my God.
Especially because it's
like, oh
mostly
my
party
God.
scenes where we see
Can
this
you
character.
please just talk like a normal person?
Just say,
It's
do you
like-
want some
yeah.
acid?
Listen, I understand you're very smart.
Does thine want to expand your experience
What was the
on this astral plane?
Yeah,
What was-
not around you, bud.
What was the line? What was the line they said where it was like now we drink the black sperm of the night or something like that?
Black sperm of the night.
No
yeah,
thanks.
something like that. Yeah, no, just insanity. But yeah, so yeah, it gets revealed. They're trying to they're trying to seduce, have sex with Lance Rock.
Yes.
In that scene, that's
And a little creepy.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's
a little
very much
non-consensually.
very
Yeah.
much trying to take advantage of Lance Rock,
Lance
who,
is all tied up.
who has taken advantage of everybody that they've came into contact with
yeah,
the entire movie.
That is true.
So
Which,
you could say it's a bit of a comeuppance,
Yeah.
but at this point it's
Yeah.
not. Because it's just not.
I mean,
You want to say it's not earned,
yeah.
but
It's a-
by this point,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's a little weird choice. Z-Man is trying to like coerce him into sex, and he's like, "Get out, fuck off! I'm gonna take all these pills and pass out right next to you in this bed."
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what he does.
Yeah.
And then Z-Man reveals themselves to be a
Yeah.
woman in drag,
Yep.
and
Big twist at the end.
yeah.
Lance Rock
Big nipple twist.
goes
Yeah.
off
Tits
on
out for the rest of the movie.
a crazy tirade.
Yep.
And frankly, hilarious.
Yes, it's pretty funny.
To go on the goddamn broad
Yeah.
and then to insult this person and say that they're an ugly goddamn broad.
Yeah.
And then Z-Man proceeds to completely come detached from reality.
Disassociates. Yeah.
It could be the drugs, it could be the insults, it could be
The combination.
a lifetime of persecution on
Maybe
who,
they've been
who
planning
they
this
see
the
them
whole time.
who they see themselves and
Yeah.
how they want to be, and so this one person
Yeah.
has rejected them and has completely
Yeah.
turned them into an animal, and so they stab them
Yep.
with a sword.
Yep. I forgot about the sword.
Mhm. Yeah, they're chasing around everybody.
Lance-
with that sword.
Yeah.
Lance
yeah.
is dead.
I mainly just remembered the gun in the mouth and the blood squirting out the nose. That's like the
Yes.
image that
Because we see that at the beginning of the movie.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
It's meant to last with you, and it's a main character who
yeah.
she
It was
she-
shocking, even though I've seen
she
it
is
before.
she is killed,
Yeah.
but not before
Yeah.
the not before the Nazi butler gets it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over the 20th Century Fox fanfare.
Oh yeah, that's true. I remember that musical cue and being like,
Yeah, this movie's pretty great now that we're talking about it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The Nazi dies over the 20th Century Fox fanfare.
Yep. Beautiful.
We're not-
Incredible.
not saying any commentary about
Peak cinema.
the business people of 20th Century Fox.
The business people at Disney at
I
this
mean,
point.
Yeah.
So
I'd sign my name on a Nazi dying. I don't know.
absolutely, I'd let him do the Disney Plus click.
Yeah. I'd respect
And then-
Disney a lot
yeah.
more. Yeah.
Can't wait for my Valley of the Dolls Disney Plus reboot, starring Sydney Sweeney
Yeah.
and
Oh, very good. Yeah, we can workshop this after the pod, of
yeah,
course.
definitely.
she'd actually probably be pretty great in like a modern recreation of this. Now I think if we're going along the same kind of
They tried to make her a final girl, didn't they?
in Immaculate, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
As far as
yeah.
They tried.
Yeah,
One of
missed opportunities.
They
these
tried.
Hollywood movies. But yeah, no. So yeah, it ends with this full rampage.
It doesn't end with it though.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's true.
Oh my God! No,
That
it does not.
So we get a call from inside the house, outside the house, saying, "Hey, we're in trouble." They
Yeah,
get
instead
the
of-
rest of the cast gets there too late.
Call 911.
Our friend is dead,
I'm calling you to call 911.
and the rest of the people that we've met are also dead.
Yep.
And
everyone's really sad, and then Harris picks this moment to have a miraculous recovery and start standing, and it's like the most strange, unpin-downable vibe.
I can feel my leg.
Harris, now's not the time.
I can feel my foot.
Yeah, he's like moving. It's so strange. Like now,
The power
we're
of love.
like they're like, oh my god, our friend just died. We're like sad, and Harris is like, well, hold on.
Wait, I've fallen down, but I can feel my foot.
I like to imagine he was just kind of been like sitting on this for a little while, and he's like, oh, my friends could use a pick me up right now. Sitting on this might have been a poor choice of words.
That was
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's still funny though. Sorry.
They frolic. His legs work so well that they're frolicking through the woods at the end.
Yeah, they are
At the
frolicking.
very end.
They do
because
get frolic.
we have this. From there, we have the narration ending, right?
I don't remember where all the characters end up exactly. If you
Oh well, we get a nice little. Everyone gets a voiceover about.
Well, we get Pat and Emerson
Yeah.
coming back together, and then we get Carrie, Kelly rather. We get Kelly and Harris coming together, and then we get. Oh gosh! Kelly's aunt and her, because that's a plot that like goes nowhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
Susan Lake.
Susan
Yeah,
Lake and
that's true.
her betrothed.
Yeah,
They're okay.
yeah, they're fine.
They were never in any kind of danger.
They're where they started. It's
They're
fine.
right
Yeah.
where they started. And then the narration goes over
Every single main character
goes over every single
including
main
Randy
character,
Black.
including Randy Black.
Yeah,
Including first and foremost, Randy Black
Yeah.
needed to learn something, and the narrator
makes
told
it completely unambiguous.
the narrator
Yeah.
told him
Yeah.
what his lesson was,
Yeah.
and he told Ashley St. Ives what
Yep.
her lesson was,
Yep.
even though she's been gone for 45 minutes at this point.
Not
Yeah.
in the second half at all, pretty much.
Nope. Mm-mm. Goodbye. She's gone back to her waiting pool full of
Mayonnaise.
I just want that to stay with you.
Yes.
It
It will now. Yeah.
And then we get our third and final ending of the movie, and that is a tri-wedding.
That's
Oh,
true.
yes.
Yeah.
That is how, yes, with Porter Hall being a creep outside the window.
Porter Hall
Yeah, what is that? He's
looking outside the blinds.
Yeah, he's like a weird, like, oh, you, Porter.
Voyeur.
We did miss a whole... That scene is so long.
Yeah.
And I always like... I don't
Oh,
look
God,
forward.
yeah, we
I don't
did-
look forward
yeah.
to it, but that's the
That is
scene
the
that
most
I
awkward
that I
scene.
don't like the most.
Yeah.
And it feels so fucking long.
Yeah.
Is Kelly seducing Porter?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's like,
It's technically two scenes because they're
he's, like,
in the bar.
extremely nervous.
They're in the
whole time.
bar talking about semantics with the deal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And because he wants to pay her $50,000 to fuck off
Yeah.
Mhm.
mid-movie. And she instead decides to seduce him
Yeah.
in order to tell him to fuck off.
Yeah.
Or blackmail him.
Yeah, it's essentially
I guess.
making
Yeah, I was
blackmail,
reading
yeah.
it as blackmail.
Yeah,
attempted
to blackmail him. So we go from the bar to her apartment and seducing him, and
Yeah.
he
And he doesn't smile once.
he
the
doesn't
entire
smile
scene.
once, and then he takes a couple of
So
puffs.
awkward and
He takes a couple
uncomfortable.
puffs off of a. It looks
Yeah.
like a little like a vintage bubbler.
Yeah, it's a really
which I would.
strange pipe.
The
I would-
first vape.
I would love to hit that first. I look
He-
at it every time. I'm like, fuck, I
Yeah.
take a hit off that.
He puffs it like he's smoking a pipe, and
Yep,
she's
like
like,
he's-
"No,
she's like,
no,
"No,
you don't waste it.
Porter.
You need to smoke it
Don't
like
waste
weed."
it. You gotta
And then he just goes right back
keep
to
it in
puffing
your
it like a pipe.
chest, Porter.
Yeah, and then he just goes right back to what he was doing.
And then
Didn't listen.
he takes off his pants and folds them up as he goes into bed.
He's got his nerdy underwear.
He's sweating,
And then
it's-
she says, "Gotcha,
"Yeah,
you fucking creep."
I won't tell anyone if you don't."
Yep.
Yeah,
Anyway, so
Weird scene.
we end the movie with him
yeah.
lusting after Kelly. I
Him being
guess.
weird, looking in the window. Yeah,
And then not even our three main, not even all of our main characters,
Yeah.
because we have
The band. It's mainly the band.
the band minus our dearly departed.
Yes.
That poor woman
Yeah.
who got everything thrown at her
Yep.
throughout the entire movie,
Just got
and
shit,
she is now
And
dead,
then
shit
she
on the whole
died.
time.
Yep.
shot in the mouth.
L.A. will chew you up and spit you out.
Yeah.
And
But
shoot you in the
everybody
mouth.
else gets a happy ending, and he gets to walk.
Yep.
Wow.
He gets to frolic.
They do frolic
Yeah.
over, and then here comes the end theme. Beyond the valley
Yeah,
of
right.
the dolls,
Probably my favorite song in the movie. Yeah.
which was later aped by John Waters and Polyester,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. So I love that connection, and John Waters loves this movie. I think he even has
Oh, I
a
bet.
Yeah,
bit.
Yeah.
I watched his I watched a few interviews with him talking about the history of this movie too.
I can see why this movie is so influential because it's so different from
Yeah.
like everything.
Oh
that
my
that came
gosh.
before it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely. And that's pretty much how it ends. Everybody
It's-
frolicking in a field,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
no credits because we already had those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, we already got it just
I do love when that happens.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of
I
like
love
the
when a
end, go
movie
home.
just ends and turns to black and then just
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah, and then if it were back in the day, if we were watching this movie, then we would get to see some trailers.
After the fact.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a wild ride. It definitely is a thing where yeah, I personally know I need to revisit it.
Yeah.
I
I do need, yeah, I feel like I didn't fully absorb it.
Yeah, like I need to it's going back into it with the history and the context is going to be also
Yeah, we watched this completely blind.
yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that for both of you.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
hate that
Yeah.
for both.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to ask. I also want to watch the original film.
Yeah.
The
Valley of the
fir-
Dolls.
It's not gonna give you any further context.
You know, no, it's not
Nope.
going to help.
Yeah, there's a
whatsoever.
very blatant
Nope.
text at the beginning of this movie saying this is not related to the film Valley of the Dolls.
And out of curiosity, I watched Valley of the Dolls and I read Valley
Oh,
of the
really?
Dolls.
Wow.
Yeah, the original author like hates this movie Beyond, right?
Oh yeah.
I remember reading
That's always
Well-
a good sign though.
it. Yeah.
Like The Shining.
Once again, it was originally drafted to be a sequel
Yeah.
to Valley of the Dolls, and it never even
No.
got an inch over the line.
I love that they
Ever.
still use that.
No matter
title,
what
though.
draft of this movie, because I don't know how many drafts that Ebert and
Mhm.
Russ
Yeah.
got through, but I know that not even the first was
Yeah.
over that line.
Big
for-
fan of them still using the title though. It's like
Yeah.
it's like fuck you.
And-
Apparently, there was a lot of legal trouble over
Oh really?
securing that title too.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I like that. I believe that John Waters talks about it being a meta term, going beyond the Valley of the Dolls,
Oh.
going beyond. And then this was also used in Russ Meyer's later movie, Beyond the Valley of the Ultra Vixens. Vixen was one of his early hits
Yeah.
that made a lot of fucking money,
Wow.
and he made Super Vixens. And then these are all not porns, by the way. These are feature films, which are great.
Yeah.
I would they're not all great.
Okay.
Vixen is great.
I'm-
I like Vixen a
I'm
lot.
now curious about like his whole
Super
filmography.
Vixen, and then Beyond the Valley of the Ultra Vixens.
Is that really the name of the movie?
That is the name
That's
of the movie.
awesome.
that's sick.
But going
The
beyond,
Valley of the Ultra Vixens.
going beyond
Where's
the
that?
beyond the valley is a really cool
Yeah,
term
it
for
is.
anything like reaching.
Yeah.
Like
We're
I like
past that.
beyond the valley. I would like that to like catch on in
Yeah.
a lexicon
Mhm.
today in
Yeah.
2024
Beyond the Valley.
to go beyond the valley.
Yeah.
And I think it can be applied to so many things that just
Yeah.
reach.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Anything. No.
That's
Definitely a term. It feels like
good
yeah,
term.
like real life. Feels like a very relevant term.
Does feel like real life.
We feel like we might be living beyond the valley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
feel-
are beyond the valley now.
I
yeah.
feel beyond the valley.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Quite a bit. So when we talk about movies on this show, the kind of final tap off we do for our films is we choose a prop.
Yeah.
So we choose. We each get to pick. If we could have one prop from this movie to put on our shelf, put in,
Yeah.
to possess, what prop would
Yeah.
it be? I'm gonna ask that I not go first because I realized I hadn't thought about what I would want my prop to be.
I've got my answer locked and loaded, and it's kind of a bullshit answer.
Let's
but
go.
I want the rolls.
Oh shit!
I'll take the rolls.
The
thank
rolls
you.
is such a good answer.
And I'll be like, "Do you know what happened in the back seat of this roll?" If anyone asks. But that'll be the least interest. That'll be the part no one's interested in.
Okay, but it's some relatively like uninspired sex.
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah. Do you guys want to watch? I have the scene on YouTube. You want to watch?
Do you have a prop, Ian?
I think I do.
Hell yeah.
I think I might want Z-Man's sword.
That's a good pick.
I think I might want Z-Man's sword.
That's a really good one.
That's a good one. I feel
or the tiara.
Yeah, the whole fit. You can have the whole fit.
Oh, okay.
I'll take
the whole
about that.
fit.
I was like, that whole costume.
I'll take the whole fit, the little cape.
Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
Open chest.
Yeah. That's a great whole costume. I was thinking, maybe I feel like I'm trying to think of the iconic. There are a lot of iconic fits and clothing items in this movie. I really like why am I forgetting his name? Not Johnny Rock.
Lance Rock.
Lance Rock. Why was
I
was thinking. I think it was because
Lance Rock's G-string.
You had mentioned
the gold G-string.
Yeah, the gold like leopard. Yeah, exactly. And have him framed. Either
I love that.
Either
That's
that
a good
or
pick,
this doesn't count as a prop necessarily. It's not something that's in the movie, but like I think I just want like a really big framed poster of what's the. I'm sorry. The character's names are on second. The porn star Petronella Danforth.
Ashley St. Ives.
Yeah, actually, St. Ives. Like that shot of her on the beach where she's like standing over him and she's
standing over him and she goes.
That is a sick shot.
Yeah, she looks like the 50-foot woman. Like
she
they
does.
make her
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the way they shot it, it's way up here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Her
like,
ribcage is like all the way over here.
Exactly.
I bet you can find some nice boy.
Yeah.
And then she gives a salute. She's just like.
Yeah.
She looks like a Greek statue in that shot. Just like a lot of good cinematography, production wise, like just very very tight.
Oh yeah, he was super talented.
Yeah, no.
I feel as though Russ Meyer was very underutilized and kind of he liked what he liked and it pigeonholed him, and especially because this was one of the only, if not the only, I can speak as to his other shot, but he died before it could happen.
Yeah.
Was one of his only major studio projects. The other would have probably been, once again going back to the music connection, the Sex Pistols film.
Oh.
He wrote a draft of Who Killed Bambi, which later became a couple of other movies in the Sex Pistols canon.
That's sick.
But
Did they use that script?
No.
Oh.
The original Who Killed Bambi was written by Russ Meyer, and it would have been directed by Russ Meyer because the Pistols fucking loved him because they knew exactly who he was, and so did everybody who
does have a very punk vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a very much punk rock movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
As much melodrama as this film contains, it really has.
It's like sarcastic though.
It has a proto-punk heart because it is very much proto-punk in the way that garage rock was. Find It is a very much garage rock proto-punk song. The very first song that we hear from the Carrie Nation's Kelly Affair in the beginning, and throughout the rest of the movie, it has a hard time picking a lane, but in the end, it's very much a punk rock studio.
Yeah, definitely.
Even down to the fact that something just a minute thing with me. With bands I follow, the fact that they're a 3-piece band and not like a blatant like I don't know, like it might be a bit late in the era for this, but like a Beatles knockoff type of just like girl rock. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no.
They're more like no, we're here to rock like properly, you know, like that's the structure, you know, they have. And that's sick. It's very cool. Something this is completely unrelated to like every point we're bringing up now, but something I remember noticing, like after their first performance in the movie as a band, and like they're all getting in the van ready to go, I was just like, where are their instruments? Are they just leaving?
They're in the back.
It's whatever.
You know, you said like backline, but like the instruments, like they're the bass and the
or they could have been backline. Yeah, you're right.
You know, just like the fuck. But no, really,
they got $300.
Yeah,
$300 from a school dance
in 1970.
In 1969, 70.
God,
That's a lot of money.
$4,000.
That's a lot of money.
That's crazy.
How
Yeah.
much is?
It's got to be like $1,000.
How much is like a?
Oh, it's
It's gotta be
9
more
and
than
change.
that.
9 and change.
$300. How much is
$300.
in 1970?
Oh God,
Worth
what's it
now.
gonna be? What's it gonna?
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's
What's
see.
it gonna be?
It is the equivalent of $2,440.70
Whoa,
today.
$300.
Damn, we
Yeah.
were way off.
Oh my god.
No, so
You just need to reset.
I don't want
US
to talk to
currency.
anybody
Yeah.
over
They-
the age
Yeah.
of 60 about money.
they can afford to. They can afford to buy.
I'm good.
Hey,
I'm good.
They can afford to buy new instruments.
why don't
at
you
the-
work your
at
way
the
through
next show.
college at a grocery store like I did? You
Jesus
lazy motherfucker.
Fuck Christ.
in like a week?
Yeah.
Get all the money for a full year,
Yeah.
full 4-year degree,
Yeah.
a car, a house, and
I don't get
You
out of bed at the
lazies.
bar
Yeah.
for under like $200.
Yeah.
two
exactly.
dogs.
Jeez, Louise, that's one night,
Yeah.
and I'm still poor as fuck. Like,
Yup.
Two
god
dogs.
damn.
Put 2.5 kids through college. Fucking all of it.
Yup.
Yeah, but
These lazy young
Let me
people.
tell some of those old fucks when I'm like, you know what? I open up my store for a whole day. I'll make $35 in 2024.
Well, hey, that's enough for a down payment on a house.
in 70s money.
right. That's why I'm saying I'm never talking to anybody. I'm
Yeah.
never talking to anybody over 40
Yeah.
about money.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
good.
They don't know.
I'm good.
It's not worth it. These kids just don't want to work anymore.
God, and if I was, I'd be solving mysteries.
Yeah, how many mysteries you solve, Grandpa?
All of them. Yeah, real quick. So I wanted to ask. I know we had said we pretty much got our VHS conversation went through in the beginning. There was
Yeah.
there was a main question I wanted to ask you though with your VHS wall in the store
Sure.
before we something. So you'd said it was just a little shelf, and then it. What do you think was the turning point to make you expand? Was it just it was becoming more popular?
Oh,
like,
no,
what do
I always wanted it to be a wall.
you- okay.
I always wanted it to be a wall. I just didn't get it done until
Yeah.
like 2 years in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, it's sick.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I always wanted it to be.
Come and see it,
very-
folks.
Please do, because I would like to be considered as one of the last
Yeah.
VHS stores in
Yeah.
the country, and I know
Come buy a tape.
there are a lot.
Oh yeah, no,
But-
there are. I see follow all sorts of like little shops in the stores. Have you noticed like an increase in like people checking them out?
Absolutely,
That's sick.
absolutely.
That's
That's
awesome.
great. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, it is a focal point, and I do have repeat customers like yourself and a bunch of other people that's right where they go is
That's
go to the
awesome.
wall, look and see what's new, and I try to keep it updated. And I'll say every 6 to 9 months, I'll strike the whole thing.
Wow. Really?
Aside from horror titles, cult titles,
Yeah.
things that I think that people are interested in. But then again, I don't know what people are interested in.
Yeah.
Sometimes kids who are into, and adults who are
Yeah.
into, I say kids, because I'm old. I'm the oldest here. That will buy a VHS copy of The Mask, or that
Yeah.
will buy
Yeah.
a tape copy
It
of
looks
Forrest Gump.
It looks
and
great
I'm like,
on display. I don't know.
I didn't think that would sell, but
That's
somebody's coming in looking for it, so you just never know.
Come in and get your tape.
Hell yeah.
I have a huge back stock, so if you just come in and ask me if you want to dig,
Yeah.
I can oblige.
Yeah. This place is sick. I gotta
Yeah.
say.
No, definitely. Please check out if you live around or near Columbus, Ohio. Please come check out the Needle Exchange.
It's right by Savor Pint. Come get a beer and get a tape.
Exactly. Go to the diner. Come get a tape.
Yeah. Oh, Beachwold. Oh my God. We used to go there like every week when we lived here.
Oh, do you live near here?
Yeah, we used to live right over here on Morse.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we would come to
Yeah.
here like every weekend to the Beachwold Diner. So there we go. We just plotted a whole day for you guys.
Rock and roll. Yeah. The whole.
Beach Ball Diner,
Yeah.
Needle Exchange Records, and then cap it off at Rafters.
Yeah,
and
there
then
you
go
go.
home.
Yeah.
And then when you're in the car, listen to Midnight Movie Gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the
Yeah.
whole time.
Have
Yeah.
an earbud in listening to us the whole time. And even if you're not listening to us, just have it play.
Absolutely. Ian, once again, thank you so much
Thank
for
Thank you so much for having me.
for having us on
this was
and
great.
bringing us into your lovely space.
Yeah.
And introducing us to this crazy movie.
Yep.
That,
Oh my God. Yeah.
that,
Thanks for that too.
That I'm
Oh,
excited to revisit and reabsorb. I got to listen to it with the commentary. You gotta do
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, yeah. On the it has like a fan's commentary on the Blu-ray, so I'm definitely gonna.
I have the DVD Criterion,
Mhm.
and I've never really explored
Yeah.
it, so I'm gonna.
Oh,
have
is
to
it
do
is it the is it the old style too, where like the what is it, I forget what they were kind of like the wide bordered
Yeah.
DVDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, they probably have updated it since. Yeah, there's a couple of.
I should get the Blu-ray.
yeah.
I wonder what it looks like upscaled. Probably not great.
It looks like a movie from 1970.
Yeah, it does. But what was I gonna say? There's a bunch of like old movies there's a bunch of movies that Criterion had like published those DVDs of back in the day that have not been resurfaced into kind of like the modern mix
Yeah.
of like for rights or whatever. But I want my Armageddon modern Criterion 4K.
Oh shit!
Because the old
Is that in the collection?
yeah, no, Armageddon is in the
Oh.
Criterion collection, or they probably don't have. I don't think they have the rights to sell it right now.
Interesting.
But they have there is an out of print Criterion.
What about The Rock?
DVD.
Do you have The Rock?
I do have The Rock as well. Yeah.
Criterion collection, The
It's-
Rock.
It's in my DVD binder because
Nice.
what was I gonna say, the bulk of my collection of most of my Blu-rays and DVDs are from when I was in high school and college, and I worked at FYE,
Mhm. Oh, okay, cool.
and I got most of my
Did you get a sick discount?
sick discount.
Fuck
No
yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Really?
at that time
Fuck yeah.
for
Oh my
you-
god!
for-
I'm gonna have to call my old boss down the street at the record store who never gave me a fucking break.
Yeah, what the hell,
that,
dude?
that
and
sucks, man.
be like, I should have been working at FYE the whole.
Yeah.
So for used
I should
for-
have been working at FYE.
for used CDs and DVDs and Blu if it wasn't video games, we got a shitty discount. 'Cause
Yeah,
that was
okay.
like the
Yeah.
biggest thing. That
Whatever.
Um,
They were never big for selling video games.
Yeah, but I got
Fuck 'em.
for used items. It was 40% off.
Whoa.
So
So
yeah,
Whoa.
so the plan is Beachwold, Needle Exchange, Rafters, and then go apply at FYE.
well now they don't.
Now don't do that.
Yeah, they ain't like they used to be.
Oh, okay.
They
I've
do.
been in a mall for a long time.
They have gotten back into.
Don't.
Yeah.
Come into stores like this.
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
please
this,
do.
yeah, yeah. No need to. If the day of
Buy
FYE
it
is
online
done.
or come into a cool local
Yeah.
store.
Come,
That's it.
come here.
Yeah. But yeah, no, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Ian. And listeners out there, thank you so much for listening. This has been Midnight Movie Gang. You can check us out on YouTube at Midnight Movie Gang Podcast.
Yep.
Instagram at Midnight Movie Gang, and then you can listen to the full audio version
Yeah.
just on wherever you stream podcasts.
Check out YouTube. We're posting cool
We're
stuff.
posting cool stuff. We just posted our Signs highlight reel react from our Signs movie commentary that we did. Check that out. It's a lot of fun. We're going to be putting out more of those. The next one, I'm working on the Cowboys and Aliens one right now.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be a hoot.
My dad brought that movie up the other day, and he was like, "Have you seen that? It's so good." My dad has very interesting taste in movies.
That's funny. But yeah, thank you again. This is currently, what time is it? Yep, it's currently 8:06 Night Movie Gang, and
Yep.
thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
So, here we go. It was filled with childish frustrations and complexes which the police are searching for James Todd, believed to be the lover of Miss Williams, and her partner in the horrible murder of Walter. Where's everybody that I'm here to hold on? Oh, please tell me where they're going. Please tell me. Sorry, I don't know. How long is it? How long is it I got in here? 3 tickets to Albany on 6 o'clock train tonight. What do you think?